Another episode of the Jock Talk podcast. We got Matt, we got Brock. How we doing today, Brock?
Great, great as always. How are you doing, Matt?
Oh, fantastic. It's getting closer and closer to game day. It is Thursday night as we are recording this. So T-minus however many hours until Sunday afternoon. We got Packers, we got Buccaneers, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matt LaFleur, young, good-looking head coach versus the weirdo hat-wearing Bruce Arians. It's gonna be a good, yeah. It's gonna be a good game. I know we're both excited for it. We'll have our predictions for you guys. We'll have our weekly, picks, our two locks and our upsets. We'll give you guys the fantasy six pack. We got our top five, so we got a good show planned for you guys. So before we get into it, like and subscribe on YouTube if you have not already. You can follow us on Twitter at Jock Talk Show. On Facebook, facebook.com/Jock Talk Show. If you're listening to this on YouTube or Facebook, you can also get this on Anchor or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can always also look us up on the Instagram and the TikTok. So with that being said, Brock, let's hop right into it.
Yes, sir.
Like we said, we got the Packers, we got the Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a loss, like we were talking about before the show. Little mini bye for them. They lost last Thursday. The Packers coming off of a full bye week, couldn't have come at a perfect time.
Yes.
With Devontae, Kenny Clark, full participants in practice these last few days. So it's looking like the Packers are going to be almost full strength.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said last show, is don't like the early buys, but kind of ask for a better time. Everybody's getting healthy, but you look on the opposite side of the ball and on the Buccaneers, and they're still banged up. Mike Evans banged up, Chris Godwin banged up, their whole wide receiving crew banged up. Gronk, they have a lot of injuries as well, and still to be seen if they will actually play. A lot of limited participants this week in practice, so it would be big. It'd be big if a handful of them couldn't play, but if they're not, I am very confident that we have a strong core of guys, even guys that are going to step up, because Kevin King looks of it that he probably won't play, which is big. Opposite side of Jair. Jair is active. That was announced today that he will play. It's going to be like they got two great wide receivers, and I mean, Gronk has looked bad, but he's still Gronk.
Awful.
He's still a big body that you got to tackle. You can't tackle him with just one guy, especially Darnell Savage. He's tiny. You're going to lay his shoulder into him.
I mean, I think it'll be more likely it'll probably be Adrian Amos. But
yeah, most likely. But
like you said, he looks awful, but he's just not just like, dropping passes or anything like that. He just looks so slow, just not good at all. So, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Preston on him at points throughout this game, which,
True.
Preston has not been good in coverage. It's not his forte, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing everyone tries to do, especially to Brady, bring pressure. He's not mobile. Zadarius has to have a big game this week, I feel like. And having the interior pressure with Kenny Clark coming back, I mean, that is huge. And then the resurgence of our other D linemen that have played well. Lowry has played. Yeah, Kingsley has played huge in the absence. So to give him that confidence to go against this offensive line and legendary quarterback in Tom Brady, I mean, that's going to be huge. He's not going to be moving around. He's not going to be moving like Kirk. Sad to say that, but he's not going to be outside the pocket. So keep him inside the pocket. Put the pressure, collapse that pocket. I feel like, I mean, he hasn't been great. He had his 5 touchdown game, yes, but he has not been. You can start to see his age in some of his throws.
You can tell that he's a 43-year-old trying to play in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a little bit slow coming out the release. I mean, he's thrown pick sixes, and that'd be
Fourth down?
Fourth down. Wait, what? Like even when watching that play, I was like, why did he throw that? Like that wasn't even close to being open.
Yep.
He just and then turns out he doesn't even know what down it is. So he's kind of showing his age, and it's something we gotta Green Bay's gotta take advantage of.
Yep.
Yeah, like none of these tip balls getting caught in between three people again. That can't happen.
Yep.
So it's big that we force turnovers.
Yes.
Or even just take advantage of the bad plays.
Yeah,
Like,
for
don't
sure.
keep them in 3rd and long. Make Brady pass it.
Yep.
I think that is our big key to the game is make Brady pass on 3rd and long.
So there's two things I want to bring up that you kind of already hit on. So you talk about, Tom Brady's not going to scramble like Kirky did, or like what even what Matt Ryan or Drew Brees were able to get out of the pocket and throw on the run a little bit. But pressure, for old quarterbacks, it's pressure up the middle. They can't escape the pocket, so it's pressure up the middle. We always see Kenny Clark getting the push on the inside. We see Z lining up over the center, over off the center shoulder sometimes. I think he has the potential to have a big game. It might be one of those games where you get 2 or 3, just one of those easy sacks that Brett gave up late in his career. You see Tom or Peyton Manning
down.
Exactly. And then so I think that's the big thing is getting pressure, but more specifically is just getting that pressure up the middle is going to be a big part of the potential of Packers' success.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Brady, honestly, maybe early in his career we saw, but as of late, the Patriots used to protect him and protect him well. He seemed to never be touched, and now this offensive line isn't as good as that Patriots offensive line was. They're giving up pressures. He's getting hit. I mean, so us to just give that pressure up the middle and make him see defenders at all times and not give him wide open passing lanes. I mean, it could either be a big day for this Green Bay defense to finally step up and make real big plays for the Packers, or if we give him time, he's one of the best and he's going to tear us apart.
Yeah, so we all know, 4 or 5 years, Tom Brady likes to get rid of the ball quick.
Yep.
The one thing we need to keep an eye out for, we all know Jair is an aggressive cornerback. Let's say, they go a slant and go. If the line, if the line's able to give him enough time, I can see that being a potential issue. But Matt LaFleur, to a lesser extent, a little bit Mike Pettin, but the Packers coaching staff as a whole has been great this season at making the necessary adjustments, with the exception of their prevent defense when they're up by 2 scores and a field goal, and then it's easy yardage and easy scoring for the opposition. But we've all seen stats on Twitter, on ESPN. Packers #1 pass block win rate team in the NFL. The Buccaneers #1 pass rush win rate. Say that 5 times fast. #1 team in the NFL. So it's a good offensive line versus a good defensive line. The Bucs are allowing 58 yards a game rushing.
Yep.
So
just about.
the Packers have been one of the better rushing teams in the NFL this year between Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams. Maybe we'll see a little bit of A.J. Dillon. Who knows? But
hope so. Get him some touches.
Yeah. So outside of the offensive line versus defensive line, getting that pressure up the middle. My last key to the game, and you talked about it a little bit with the injury report. If Mike Evans plays, who guards him? Kevin King is that guy who normally guards the bigger receivers. Jair's 5'11", 6 foot maybe.
Yeah.
So who guards Mike Evans? He hasn't had a huge year catch and yardage wise, but he has been a red zone beast this year, and I believe he still leads the league in touchdowns so far. So those 3 things are my keys to the game for the Packers to come out with the W.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit it right on the head. Got to stop Mike Evans if he plays. again, I mean, Ronald Jones had a big game this past week against the Bears,
Yep.
which is usually a pretty good run defending team. So it's another wrinkle in their little playbook. I mean, that was Ronald Jones, and they still got Leonard Fournette back there if he plays. I mean, that's
Yep.
a really good 1-2 punch that we can't let get going. If Tom Brady has a run game, that's another staple of his success, is having a really diverse run game and just attacking you at different levels, different angles, and that's one of the main reasons he's been successful, is they can
Yep.
throw you so many different ways you don't know what's coming.
Yep.
So the Packers have to limit the big play. I feel like is keep everything underneath, keep everything in front. Still be aggressive, but do not give that play over the top. Don't give them those quick scores. Green Bay's shown this season that we can score quick, we can score slow.
Yep.
We can do. So far, not a lot of people have been able to stop us. Bucs defense. This is our first real test on defense. Honestly, but if the Saints had Michael Thomas, that probably would have been the biggest test. But he was not there, so now is the biggest test. We got a big 3-game stretch coming up here. I think we got the 49ers next week, and then the Vikings after that. That's a tough 3-game stretch, and I mean, we got to start it off hot, coming off the bye. Another key to the game always is don't start off slow. I think that's one of our biggest keys that we always talk about, is we cannot start off slow. We got to score on that first possession. I think Green Bay has scored on their first possession every drive so far this year, I believe. And to keep that up and put Tom Brady behind or whatever early would be key to Packers' success.
Yeah. Last thing before we get to predictions, get off the field on third downs.
Yes.
Yes. Predictions. Packers 34. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game.
Yep.
I think all the pundits, all ESPN, all they want to talk about is, the fact that it's Brady versus Rodgers versus Brady. But we all know it's a team game. No one guy is going to win or lose the game for us. But Aaron Rodgers, 300-plus yards. Devontae Adams, double-digit catches. And A.J. Dillon scores a touchdown.
That would be absolutely huge, especially for a young guy to get that confidence against a good Buccaneers defense, and it's just showing I can do this against the big boys, the big boys, giving up 58 total rushing yards a game, and him to be able to punch in a touchdown would be absolutely crucial. I have the Green Bay Packers 31, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27. Again, a higher scoring game. I think Aaron Rodgers has another 3-touchdown performance to kind of add to his MVP candidacy. And Aaron Jones, the guy we haven't really talked about yet, but I think he is going to be key. He needs to be key in the pass game. He needs to be key in the running game. I think he has 125 plus purpose yards. I know it's not much, but it is for us. For us, it is huge, because we said earlier, they've given up 58 total rushing yards, so it's going to be key for just to get him going, even just to get him going a little bit. And my biggest key, we need turnovers. I think the Packers get two turnovers. The Packers get. One by Brady, one I think they punch a ball out like on a kick return or something and set us up and kind of just give us a break that we need in this high scoring affair to kind of either bring us back or just set us apart at the middle or late end of the game.
One thing I didn't bring up, 5+ sacks.
Ooh, that's big time. That's big time.
All right. So we both have the Packers winning. Surprise. Go Pack Go. We're those kind of people,
Gotcha.
Whatever. I went 3-0 again last week. Brock, 2-1 for you, I believe. The Cowboys rallying around Dak. kept you from going undefeated. But, I just want to talk about our fantasy. That's what we're going to do next, our fantasy six-pack. Last week, killed it. What do we have last week? Let's see.
Tyler Johnson. Boom.
Robbie Anderson, Tyler Johnson, Dalvin Cook, David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, killed it. Juju Smith-Schuster, we chose the wrong wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The thought process was correct, just the wrong outcome, different player. But the thought process was there. Attack the Steelers wide receivers.
But we also didn't assume that Mr. Chase Claypool would have 4 total touchdowns or 3 total touchdowns.
Yep.
And easily one of those goes to Juju, and we're sitting here talking a totally different game.
For sure.
So, let's get started off. Who you got with your first pick?
Number 1, making some sweet seat music. Kenny Galladay. Detroit Lions versus the Jaguars. Yes, the Jags are probably going to get back Josh Allen, Myles Jack, and C.J. Henderson, but they're still trash. Kenny Galladay's a beast. Matt Stafford's been playing, good football when he hasn't been hurt these last few years. Kenny Galladay, would not be surprised to see him wind up as a top 3 fantasy football wide receiver this week.
I'm going the same game, opposite team. I'm going Mr. James Robinson. Everybody's been able to run over the Detroit Lions so far, and James Robinson's looked good. Like he's played very well for the Jaguars, even recent weeks. He's one of the highest priced players on DraftKings and FanDuel, and rightfully so. And to have him line up against one of the worst rush defenses in the league, I think this could be a high-scoring game, this Jacksonville-Detroit game. So maybe stack up a couple players from this week from that game this week.
Number 2, sticking with the wide receiver position, Calvin. I got shut down by Jair Alexander Ridley. Came back last week with a good game. Pretty sure he's still the number 1 receiver in all of fantasy football, even with that 0-catch, 0-yard performance against the Packers. Calvin Ridley, as long as the game goes as planned, which I think it's looking like it will, Calvin Ridley, absolute smash.
Again, going opposite side of the ball, or opposite team. We're going Justin Jefferson against that porous Atlanta defense. Thielen is still Thielen, but Justin Jefferson, he's that big play, splash, slant, screen,
everything.
Deep threat, everything. We would love to see him in green and gold, but here he is in purple, yellow. But I think I could see a huge game again, really high-scoring game possibility in that game. No defense is to be played, and we're all about offense right now.
Number 3, David Montgomery. The Bears were rumored to be in on Le'Veon Bell. Whether he decided not to sign with them or the Bears not deciding to pursue him just shows the confidence in David Montgomery. Tariq Cohen's already out for the year, so he's really their only back besides Cordero Patterson, technically their backup running back. So David Montgomery goes up against the Carolina Panthers. Todd Gurley looked like Todd Gurley from 3 years ago against them last week. So David Montgomery, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be a top 3 fantasy back this week.
I'm not going the same game this time, so don't you worry about that. I'm going to go the same position, though. Wisconsin's own.
Yeah, boy.
Jonathan Taylor against the Bengals this week, they're giving up 160 rushing yards a game. Another defense that is not very good. And I think the Colts will be up early. I think the Colts defense will give Joe Burrow some problems. I like Joe Burrow. He's looked pretty good so far. And I think the Colts got a decent defense. I think they control the clock. JT, one touchdown catch, 1 touchdown run sets you up really well for this week.
All right, fantasy six pack. There it is. That is a great segue, great transition into our locks and upset of the week. My first lock of the week is also an upset, but this is my lock of the week. You know, the Indianapolis Colts are going to apparently only score 14 points because JT is going to have 2 touchdowns. So the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, believe they're going to possibly get Geno Atkins back this week. We're just going to play again this week. So the Cincinnati Bengals will upset, and I guarantee a victory against the Indianapolis Colts. Lock number one.
Guaranteed. I mean, going 3-0. I mean, you might like it, but I'm going a little bit easier on this first pick. I'm gonna go Ravens over the Eagles. I think Carson Wentz implodes, and
More on him later.
I think he implodes, and that Ravens defense. Mark Ingram was in an interview earlier, and they obviously know they have not performed. And honestly, coming off a subpar performance by Lamar this past weekend, I think it's a very big scoring game. I mean, that could be another guy you want to look at. I mean, higher price in your daily fantasy sports is Mark Andrews, but I could see a big week out of this Baltimore team, and
absolutely,
the Eagles haven't looked very good either. So I think that's my first lock of the week.
My second lock of the week, and as I told Brock pre-show, if you would have told me that I was picking all 3 of these teams to win in the same week a year ago, you would have thrown a TV at me. Number 2, the Miami Dolphins. And it's not because it's the Dolphins. Yes, they looked good last week. It's, whoever the Jets are playing, just whoever the Jets are playing. Miami Dolphins, guaranteed it. Lock it down.
I mean,
take it to the bank.
If they play anything like if they play one quarter like they played against the 49ers last week, that's an easy W.
This game,
easy.
I could very much see the Jets scoring 0 points.
Yeah, they don't. Is Flacco playing again?
Yes, he is. I mean, Jamison Crowder looks good. DraftKings stud, full point PPR over there. But Jets, no bueno.
No, that's a mess over there. I think Adam Gase is gone after this week. He better be. What else does he have to do? My second lock, Rams over the 49ers. 49ers again looked bad last week. Oh, Jimmy G's ankle still hurt. Well, they still sucked. I mean, yes, the 49ers lost a lot of people on injuries, a lot, but I think the Rams, they're going to start hitting their stride here pretty soon. Sean McVay, another good young coach, I think, gets that team going here. Robert Woods looked good last week. They hit a couple big plays, a little closer game than they liked last week, but I think this week they take care of business of their in-state rival.
Upset pick of the week, the Washington football team over the New York Giants. I don't know if it's going to be Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if it's going to be I almost died Alex Smith, Kyle Allen. Hell, I don't care if Ron Rivera suits up at quarterback. Washington football team upset the New York Gigantes.
Yeah,
Spanish.
I asked him this question. How is that an upset? They're playing the Giants. I mean,
talk to Vegas, baby.
Yeah, yep. That's what you're gonna have to do because that is might be one of the worst games of the week. What you're thinking 7-0? It could be like that Mud Bowl that happened a few years back where it was the 49ers Redskins, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, football team.
Yep. I think it was just last year. I want to see a scoregami. I want to see a 5-2 win.
Okay. That would be. How about why not just 3-2?
Nah.
3.
5-2.
Make it interesting.
Safety and a field goal.
That would be very probable with those two teams going at it. My upset pick of the week. One of the best games of the week, I think. I think one of the most even games of the week. But I'm going the Browns over the Steelers. Browns have looked good. Steelers have looked good. It's a hard pick to pick. But I'm going the Browns over the Steelers with my upset. Lock it in.
There we go. You know what segment is absolutely just sweeping America right now, Brock?
What is that?
What is it? Is it top 2?
No.
Top 4.
5.
Top 5. Let's go. Top 5 this week for you guys. Last week we did what was our
top 5 sports movies?
That's right. Top 5 sports movies. We're sticking with the TV. Top 5 TV shows of all time.
Oh, this was tough.
We're in that perfect age. You could go back to some cartoons when you were younger. Some Rugrats, some Wild Thornberries.
I didn't though. I did not.
I did not either. So we're gonna start at number 5, Brock. We're gonna work our way up to number 1. I know we each have an honorable mention because we're cheaters and it's way too hard to pick just 5. So
it's way too hard just to pick 6 because you just named off like 3 that could easily be in my top 5. Maybe that's the next one. Next top 5 kids shows.
There we go.
Or
childhood TV shows.
90s TV shows. Next time.
That's right.
Or early 2000s.
Number 5. This might be the show that some of you have never heard of. It was a ESPN2/ESPN classic hosted by the late great Stuart Scott. My number 5, Stump the Schwab. He was
what a solid pick.
This big, just mean-looking dude. Just
he came back, right?
Yep.
They did a little spin-off. It was terrible.
Yep. Yes. Just absolute sports knowledge up the wazoo. Some of it pointless, some of it interesting, but just a real smart dude. So my number 5, Stump the Schwab.
Yeah, solid pick. Solid. Forgot about that one. But I'm going 5 as a competitive show. One of our favorites, The Master Chef.
Oh,
that series.
Jeez.
Gordon Ramsay. I mean, I could do a top 5 Gordon Ramsay show. That is.
Oh, wow. It's taken some turns over the years too.
It has.
The way that they've
started judging people.
Yep.
It's not Junior. It is not Junior.
God, no.
It's not Junior. Gordon Ramsay's too nice. Nice. If
I wanted nice Gordon Ramsay, I'd go listen to James Corden or something. He got the same stupid accent. I don't know.
There you go.
My number 4. Judge me all you want, guys. Brock, this one may be on your list too. My number 4 is New Girl.
Solid choice.
Funny TV show, great characters between
relatable characters.
Schmidt and Nick. Nick is my spirit animal.
Everybody says I'm Nick. I'm a Nick. Yeah. They say I'm a Nick. I'm kind of I don't know what it's about me, but maybe my wife or Drake can tell me a little bit more why I'm a Nick. but I guess more the fact that my wife is Jess. So it could be more of that. But speaking of Drake, my number 4, Drake and Josh. Classic show. I mean,
for some reason I thought you were going like Degrassi there for some reason.
I guess I see that. But this was a better segue. Drake and Josh, all-time favorite, like comedy, just pure comedy. It just
before they turned you a
traitor.
They both turned into weirdos there for a little bit.
They did, but Fat Josh, Skinny Josh, they were both funny. All the seasons. I mean,
Yep.
classic show.
My number 3, they've rebooted it once. There's been rumors about doing it a second time. Dylan will attest to this. My number 3 favorite show of all time is Prison Break. Michael Scofield, great character. It's just one of those things where I rewatch it like once a year. Once I kind of forget what happens throughout the series, and I start to rewatch it again. Just a classic Fox television show.
Yeah, for me, another, or kind of segues off yours a little bit, of Criminal Minds, number 3.
Good one. That's a good one.
It-
No
it-
spoilers. My wife and I are on season 11 right now.
Oh, don't worry, I'm on season 6, so that's probably when you started watching. You didn't start from the beginning and with Gideon.
No, I think I started season 2 or 3 maybe.
Without Gideon, you got to see
Yep.
the Gideon episodes though.
All right,
Those are
Brock.
good ones.
Favorite Criminal Minds character on 3. Ready?
Hang on. That's tough.
1, 2,
I'm not ready.
3. Spencer.
Oh yeah. It's Spencer.
Yeah.
He's gone through some shit too, so it's crazy. like between his mom, him being tortured, like.
Yep.
Oh, you probably didn't see that. Him being tortured. Sorry. Go back and watch it.
Way to go, bud.
Actually, start it over and watch it. Jesus. All right. What's it? Number 2?
Number 2. Speaking of criminals. Speaking of a Deschanel. We're going with Bones with Emily Deschanel instead of Zoe Deschanel. Again, just a great TV show. It's just one of those. Yep, it's one of those things. Again, I watch it about once a year. Once I forget about things happening. One of my all-time favorites. Obviously, it's number 2 on my list.
My number 2. New Girl. Again.
There we go.
For the same reason. The characters, everything about that show. If you have not watched New Girl, ain't gonna lie, I was a skeptic at first. My wife told me, "Oh, you gotta watch New Girl. You'd like it. You'd love it so much." I was like,
the show will turn off guys everywhere.
Yes.
Just by the name of it.
Men, go watch New Girl.
Yes.
It is great. It is more men than girls, and Cece's not bad to look at.
My wife doesn't watch these videos, so I agree. I concur.
Yeah, neither does mine. Great wives we have.
Number 1, without a doubt, is the
most overrated show.
Television show of all time. The building of characters, the laughs, the tears, the seriousness, the drama, the cliffhangers. I couldn't imagine watching this on TV when it was actually on.
Cringeworthy.
The Office is the greatest TV show of all time. Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute, Jim Halpert are some of the greatest TV show characters of all time. The Office.
They have very good one-liners and just punchlines and all that, like memorable lines. I'll give them that. But the most wait for it, dairy show of all time is How I Met Your Mother. And if you think otherwise, I don't even know how it's not on your list. It is absolutely blasphemous.
I'll tell you what, it's not even on my honorable mentions.
That's absolutely blasphemous. How I Met Your Mother is the greatest show of all time. You talk about cliffhangers. You talk about tears. Marshall's dad dying. Oh my God. Oh, the playbook. The unlimited characters of Barney Stinson. Oh my God. It is. No one asked you, Patrice. Greatest show.
Honorable mention. Show that my wife got me into by showing me a clip on YouTube. It's great. I watch reruns basically probably every other day. The Impractical Jokers.
Oh my God! Why? I don't know how that was on my list.
Yep.
Oh, I made this list and totally
That's
forgot
my
about
number
it.
6 honorable mention. What do you got, Brock? What do we got? Honorable mention time.
I want to change it now, but no, I won't. I won't. I'll stick to my guns. Another competition show. Again, another show that we talked about. We love Ink Master.
That's right.
I mean,
I used to. I
still
haven't
watch.
watched it in a few seasons myself personally, but yes.
I have watched every season so far. Unfortunately, they weren't unable to show us, and maybe I haven't even tried to look to see it was the final. They were about to do the final tattoos. The final 3 were about to go at it, and COVID hit, and they're like, well, we can't do our live show now, and you can't tattoo. I was like, oh, great. So, but the amount of artwork that they do is absolutely incredible. Some of the challenge they do is incredible. It makes me want to get my whole body tattooed, but I will not. Unfortunately. No, not unfortunately. There's just certain things. I want meaningful pieces for myself. But when I do, I will get great tattoos.
I'm going to cheat and throw this other one out. That 70s show based right here in Wisconsin. Talk about great character building between Fez, Foreman, Hyde, Kelso. Look at the stars who got their starts basically from that show. But moving on.
I'll say one more since you got one more. One of the, I believe it was you who said one of the most overrated shows of all times is BMS, the Blue Mountain State. Is a great show.
It's not even overrated. It's not even good enough to be overrated. It's just not funny. Period. Moving on. I'll drink to that. Let's go. Let's do this. I have a Twisted Tea here, boys. I know your buddy is your buddy Drake who likes these things.
Drake loves
They are delicious. They are nutritious. They have all the lemon for your vitamins and minerals you need.
You got the peach. You got the
no. This is the original. I'm original kind of guy. Let me tell you what. I know I went Italian with that. I'll drink to that. This is our bold prediction for the week segment. I have, you mentioned it earlier, Carson Wentz does not finish the game as the Eagles quarterback, whether because of injury or just general suckiness. Jalen Hurts season.
I'll drink to that. Makes my lock look even better. I mentioned this one earlier. The Browns and Steelers. That game will have a brawl, and players will be ejected. They're already talking about it. This one's for Myles Garrett. Oh boy, there's gonna be some trash talking, and it is going to get ugly. 1-4-1 team, 1-4-0. Let's go. This is the battle of the AFC. Let's go.
One question for, I guess it's not a primetime game, so we won't have the primetime camera there. But what weird, awkward position stance does Aaron Rodgers do in the background next? We got the flex, we got the wave. Do we get like the double thumbs up or?
It's not a primetime. They have it at I think almost every stadium.
Normal Fox.
I think they have it at all the stadiums now because there's no fans and it's the prime time or it's just the cam now. I think I could be wrong. But
do we get a thumbs up?
I'm hoping for the belt. Bring back the belt. Let's get them to get it.
All right.
Bring back the belt. # bring back the belt.
With that being said, guys, thank you for listening in. Again, if you're listening on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, search us up on TikTok, Instagram. If you're listening on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Jock Talk Show, on Facebook, facebook.com/Jock Talk Show. If you're listening on Anchor, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Until next week, as always, peace out and go Pack, go.